Welcome. This is Mr. Fisher, Flips 3rd grade. Here's today's agenda. This is lesson 2.12, multiples of 10. And today's agenda, we will be looking at Mr. Fisher's wig. We'll go over how to do the WSQ, the watch summary question. We'll do some math problems. Remind you to do some quick practice right here. And then we'll show you how to multiply one-digit numbers by multiples of 10. We'll model it. We'll show you how to do it with some blocks, and we'll apply it into some of our math problems, and we'll problem solve it, see if we can do that. And then we'll wrap it up for today. Today's lesson will be going out a little bit late, mainly because I've been sick this last couple days. So we'll go from there. Mr. Fisher's wig, first of all. Mr. Fisher's wildly important goal is to make sure and to help you understand and apply math to the best of your understanding and to do well on the end of your tests. So just making sure you understand, I'm going to be pushing a couple of you to try a little bit harder, and some of you I'm going to be challenging you to advance your knowledge into further areas. So be watching for Mr. Fisher's wig as we go. The WSQ is where you write down in your notebook right now when and where you are watching this video. Who are you watching it with will also help, because they're going to be helping you as your homework helper. After you get done watching the video, you need to sum up what you saw. That means you're going to write one sentence about what you saw or what you learned. The cue. I'm going to break this up into a question. When you ask a question about the video, I want you to think of some question that's a secret question that you would ask your teacher if you had a one-on-one session with me. And you'd be able to ask, Mr. Fisher, I just don't understand how to do multiples of 10. That would be a great secret question. A hot question will be a question that you want to ask the rest of your classmates. And so a hot question will be a burning question that you want to be able to ask somebody else in your class, in our class. Well, hint, hint, there's a summary right here. The focus of today's lesson is to use place value and properties to multiply one-digit numbers by multiples of 10. Notice I said hint. If you want your summary, there's a good summary. As we go, we're going to show you that multiplying by multiples of 10s will make sense. You just have to think through it, and it'll come easier as we go. We would like to warm you up before we get started. So we're going to use some clues to find the three-digit mystery number. We're going to start out with the first clue. The digit is in the ones place is the largest one-digit square number. So let's see if we can't figure out what we're going to put there. If I were going to do it, I would be putting probably largest square number, one digit, mind you. I'm going to try 8. No? You say I should try 9. Okay, we'll try 9. And okay. Next clue. The digit in the tens place is the product of 5 and 0. Product. Oh, good. You say it's the answer. Well, let's try 5 times 0. Oh, that one's easy. 5, right? No, you say 0? Good, you're correct. Let's try this last one. The digit in the hundreds place is the smallest odd whole number. Smallest odd whole number. That would be 0, right? Correct me? You say it's 1. Well, let's check our answer. 109. Hopefully you got the answer before me. And let's make sure you understand that one of the things you should be studying is the square numbers. So here are the squares. 1 times 1 is, 2 times 2 is, 3 times 3 is, 4 times 4 is, 5 times 5 is, 6 times 6 is, 7 times 7 is, 8 times 8 is, 9 times 9 is, and 10 times 10 is. Practice those. You'll thank me later. And you can also practice them mixed up and mixed up division. What's 100 divided by 10? You better know that. 10. Next, besides practicing the square numbers, you need to practice, especially for today's lesson, the tens. So count with me. 1 times 10 is, 2 times 10 is, 3 times 10 is, 4 times 10 is, 5 times 10 is, 6 times 10 is, 7 times 10 is, 8 times 10 is, 9 times 10 is. Also skip count. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. And the one that's not up there is 10 times 10. What's 10 times 10? Good. You remember your square numbers. Okay, to model this, I'd like to show you that we're going to take 5 tens. Just realize that there's 10 little blocks in each of those things. And we take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What's 5 times 10? 5 times 10 equals 50. So remember that we can write that as 5 tens. Now I want to show you, emphasize that when we multiply with multiples of 10, we can use place value to rewrite the factors. Then we can use the associative and commutative properties to rearrange the factors. And I'm going to show you that right now. Now, I don't know what 2 times 30 is, but I've separated it so there's 10, 20, 30 in each section. So 2 30s is what I want to find. Now when I rearrange these factors, we can multiply the base fact by 10. So we take this, we can actually rewrite this using the associative property. 2 times 1 equals 2, and 3 times 10 equals 30, right? Well, let's rewrite that again. What if we do the commutative property and we take 2 times 3 and 1 times 10, then we can see that it can be written like this. 2 times 3 equals 6, and 1 times 10 equals 10. So, now I know the answer. 2 times 30 is 60. And that's using the associative and commutative properties of multiplication. Now, I want to also show you, I want to share with you a shortcut. If I take 6 times 4, my answer is going to be 24, correct? But when I take 6 times 40, this is a multiple of 10, my answer isn't 224 anymore. It should be 240. And that is the way you do the shortcut. It's to basically hide that 0 from your mind for a second before you get the answer. So if I hide that 0 there, 4 times 6 is 24, then I make sure that 0 gets back on the end, and now I have 6 times 40 equals 240. Well, let's see if we can get this answer. 90 times 3 times 10. So what they want us to do is we're going to do the shortcut method. And what we're going to do is we're going to take 9 times 3, and that equals 27. 27 times 10 equals, pause the video, see if you can figure it out. And the answer is 270. 27 times 10 is 270. Well, let's try it with a problem. This is a basic multiplication and mental math, so you can figure out the answer on your own. Pause the video and see if you can find it. And just for kicks, let's make sure you have it. 9 times 2 is 19, right? No, it's 18. All multiples of 2 are even. So 9 times 20 is 180. And we can check our answer. 18 and 180. Good job! Way to go! When we say shortcut, we mean to find a shorter amount of time. When you take a shortcut to your house, do you usually take the long way around? No, you want to get there faster. Well, the same thing happens in multiplication. 6 times 5. If we want to find 60 times 50, let's take the shortcut. 6 times 5 is 30. And the shortcut would show us that we just have to add an extra 0. So 60 times 5 using the shortcut method is 300. Well, for today's assignment, I want you to look over these 5 problems. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those 4 problems you can do. This first one's a review, so let's name that number 1. This is number 2. Let's see if you have it down. Number 3 and number 4. That's a problem-solving one. And then check to see if you really understand it. Ask yourself if you can explain how to find 7 times 40. And you can explain that using the place value and properties, or you can explain it using mental math. You see if you can find a way to explain it. Practice your 7s, your 8s, your 6s, your squares. And that's the end of my lesson for today. So, practice makes perfect. Make sure you ask a question, and if you have a question, a secret question for Mr. Fisher, maybe ask about how to do divisions with multiples of 10. So, that's all of my lessons, man.
I was working in the lab late one night when my eyes beheld an eerie sight. And my monster from a slab began to rise, and suddenly, to my surprise,
He did a mash,
he did the monster mash.
the monster mash.
It was a graveyard
He
smash.
did the mash,
It caught on like a flash.
he did the mash.
He did the monster mash. Well, my